This is the second episode of a mini-series about me running the Kurobe Marathon in Japan, the race day. Today I will get what I came for, the struggle, the fun and the ice cream. So it's around 5:30 in the morning and I already am dressed with my contact lenses, laid out everything to put it back into the bag. And yeah, about 15 minutes to go. It's raining buckets, so not gonna be so pleasant to run, but what can you do? All I have to do is taping my poor ankle, stuffing everything into my backpack, and I'm ready to go. Bye bye, lovely place. I wish I could stay a little bit longer. The rain got a bit better, which is nice. They did say it will get a little bit better, but then worse again. I think these are rice. I'm pretty sure. I think I'm feeling pretty good. Rather exhausted with this whole trip. Oh, that's cute. But yeah, altogether alright. And the ankle is kind of okay-ish. There is a bit of, I don't know, imbalance I can feel in there, but at least at the moment it's not too bad. The problem is I'm not sure what's going to happen over those 42 kilometers, but we'll see. Now I'm actually going to a little shop to buy myself breakfast. I had a little snack because yesterday they gave me a cookie for the tea, but I didn't eat it. And then I had a couple of sweets of my own. And yeah, just by accident, but it was very lucky. So I'm not fully hungry. But since I'm about to run 42 kilometers, I for sure need to eat some more stuff. And I found a shop which, according to Google, is open 24 hours, but you never know, especially in this area, like who would buy stuff overnight? But we'll see. I mean, it's pretty amazing to see this rural area. After all, it's just 4 hours of suffering. Well, 2 hours usually of enjoying and 2 hours of suffering. Since I will be running slowly today because of the ankle and just because of looking around, it might be 5 hours of suffering, but hopefully I will get through it. I'm really enjoying it though, walking in this very strange rural area. It's not something I've seen before. I'm about 20 minutes behind my schedule because I think I was a little bit too slow in the morning and then I stopped for buying food. I bought myself some tea and some pastries and chocolates. Now I will be just, I guess, walking and eating them. It's actually quite stale, but what can you do? There is some kind of, I think it's fish market. At least it looks like a market, and there is a huge fish. On the next one, this one is actually quite nice, but it's so quiet in the area. I cannot believe that there's going to be a pretty large marathon here. Really, like, no people. According to the map, I'm almost there. I will have to pick up my bib number and then change my shoes into the running ones. Well, these are trail running shoes, but into my road running shoes. And then leave my bag somewhere. And yeah, right, now we're getting somewhere. I can see buses arriving in the distance. They promised to have buses for people from the train station. And yeah, I see people with flags, more buses. Okay, now that looks like some action. This area is crazy with birds. There is something like a hawk sitting up there, and you probably cannot see it, but there are some pretty mountains back there. That's really cool. Yeah, look at this bird up there. Okay, now I can see more life. That's the start and the finish of the marathon. And yeah, people are getting ready. And now I just need to find my bib number and change and leave my bag and find the bathroom. I think I just crossed the finish line. Unfortunately, 5 hours too early. There are all those serious runners who are like warming up already. I mean, I have huge respect for people who are very serious about it. So there is a little check-in counter. I just got my bib number and a map and a t-shirt. Now I need to find a place to change my shoes. This is a changing room. That is so unusual.
Lost in the crowd, but yeah, you drown out the sound. What you were thinking about? Is this thing in my head delusional till I die, babe? At least we stand a chance then, right? It's been years and it still kills me. Your dynamite, so fucking pretty. Hold on, darling, don't let me down. Hope that you feel it too. Just give me a sign, 'cause I know.
At some point, a song started playing, and it looked like everyone knew the moves for that song. Everywhere, even outside of the changing room, in the arena, most people were following that warm-up. Delivering the valuables, putting them in storage. On my way to put my bag into storage. Then I left my backpack in the storage area and in my usual way of doing everything too early, had a lot of time to kill. Now it's just waiting. As always, 3 kilometers long, queue to the bathroom.
I would never thought that you could be causing these problems. It smells so bad, it dies like a slimy scotch. I know you should have known, but now you're not alone.
Here, I lingered a lot, not wanting to go outside into the drizzle. But then, it was time to start slowly moving to the start line, to find my D section in time. Waiting is usually way more annoying than running. I still have 40 minutes to go. And yeah, and I need a bathroom again, but it's a 40 minutes wait, so I should probably go to the start line. You see, there is food for when you are back, and I guess for these spectators who are supposed to be waiting. The sections were given based on the finishing time of your previous marathon, and mine was around 3:49. Look at the amount of people.
Since you came into my life, it felt so good, it felt so right. You bring the sun on cloudy days, all the birds sing your praise. It's your face, your laugh.
I think it's more than 10,000 people here today. And about 15 minutes to go.
I'm here to hold your heart. It's the sweetest gift that I will not drop, and I promise to always stay true. Yeah, I love you so.
There's a lot of speeches now, and we even had like a minute of silence for Jimmy Carter, because this is a memorial marathon for Jimmy Carter.
Even in the middle of the night, you shine so bright. Truly a sight of everlasting light.
And just like that, the game is on. We started running along the streets of Kurobe. Kurobe is a small city in Toyama Prefecture with 41.5 thousand of inhabitants. Kurobe is famous for its spring water coming from the mountains, and the hydration stations with it are set every 2 kilometers. You can't argue with the fact that it's quite a rural area, extremely unusual for me, as almost all the marathons I've done were held on the streets of rather large cities. But that actually made me enjoy it even more. Isn't it wild to run a marathon in the wildest Japan? I often find that running is quite a nice way of exploring a new area. I do prefer walking with my friend the camera, but you can for sure cover a larger area when running. Well, a race won't be my first choice to do it, but a nice morning run, absolutely. Which is why, even though it might seem boring for some of you watching, that area with nothing but fields and small houses, running there was extremely entertaining. Over the distance of 42 kilometers, it actually changes a lot. But the coolest thing was the support from the locals.
If you've been to a large marathon, this might seem like nothing, but keep in mind that this is not a densely populated area, and the support was extremely warm. There were families with kids, groups of elderly ladies sitting in the chairs they brought there specifically, staff from local businesses and shops. It was absolutely lovely.
Just got some sweets. So 15k in, it's horrible. It's so warm and so humid. Yeah. The ankle is doing amazing though, and it's such a cool support all around. That was so adorable. By the way, it's been uphill for quite a while. Now it's downhill, which feels amazing.
It's about 22 degrees Celsius. It might not seem too warm, but the humidity makes it poor. Plus, my comfortable running temperature is below 15 degrees.
Got a little rice stud beverage, which is something you would not get in Europe. That's really cute. Of course, it started raining. I'm all wet, completely.
Where?
Yeah, it's raining on and off. A lot of on.
On top of the rain, the wind was wild.
Guys, the weather is horrific, which is why I feel right at home in Sweden, which is why I'm feeling great. Suddenly so cheerful, and it's 25 kilometers, only like 17 to go.
There is quite a gap before his videos, because I was too afraid to use my camera in the rain.
It's about 34 kilometers and I'm suffering, but still running, which is a good thing, and no ankle pain. That is the best thing. My ankle is fine. Well, hopefully it's going to be fine for the next 7-8 kilometers. Look, it's running.
Bye. Bye.
Oh, thank you. Guys, I get ice cream. That's the main reason. This is the main reason I'm running this marathon, for ice cream. Jin, I promised you ice cream. This is pretty cool. 4 kilometers to go. Now it's the point where it's just you grind your teeth and you are trying to run. Fight. I got tea.
Go.
2K to go.
At this point, you're just willing that sports center to come into view.
So you're... Look at this. Here you get a finisher towel. Isn't it cool? So embarrassingly, despite all the talk about taking it easy, I finished in under 4 hours. According to my watch, it's something like 3:55, but I will check the actual result a little bit later. I'm a little bit disappointed for not getting a medal to add it to my collection, but that is pretty unique, isn't it? Where else will you get a towel as a finisher gift? Now it's just picking up my stuff and trying to make myself decent. It's way less people here than in the morning. So I'll have a look at the food that they are giving out here, and then I will go back to the train station. Apparently you can get crab feet somewhere. At least everyone is eating crab legs. There were some coupons in the package, but I kind of for some reason assumed that they are just discount for something, but it looks like people are getting food for them, and I threw them away when I was packing. Yeah, that's a bit disappointing. I could have gotten free food, but on the other hand, I'm not sure I really want to have those crab legs. It's time to go back to Nagano. Well, that was it. Now I will just be going to the station. It's a bit of a shame about the tickets, but it was a huge pile of documents and them inside, and some of them did say like 10% discount. And I was thinking, okay, then all of them are just discount tickets. But apparently, now looking at the signs, I can see that some of them were actually just for free food. But anyway, to be fair, it's raining and I would really like to get to Nagano as soon as possible. The problem is I have a ticket from Toyama to Nagano. So first I need to take this regional train and then I will have to wait anyway in Toyama. But maybe I will have time to have a snack there, because I really haven't eaten since that breakfast that I bought on the way to the marathon, which is very unhealthy. But yeah, I really just want to keep moving and get to the station and then get to Toyama. Somehow I ended in fields today. What is it with me and fields this last 2 days? I decided against taking the bus. Well, actually I completely forgot that there is a bus. And just now seeing buses pass me, I realized that there is a bus to the station. But I don't want to go back. It's only 25 minutes and I will definitely enjoy having a little walk. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It's a rural area, so there isn't so many people, I would say, but those who were there, they were outside and waving and yelling and so supportive. It was a lot of fun and it was just so exciting to, run in rural Japan. The weather was not amazing. Initially it was really humid and a little bit warm, not too warm, about 22 I think. And yeah, because of that it was really hard, at least for me, and I think I did lose some of that fitness over the last 2.5 weeks of not doing any running. Well, not any running, but not much. Google is taking me in some very suspicious way. I don't know, but yeah, it was just hard. It's not like I was running slow. I was running, I guess, my usual pace since I finished with my more or less typical time. Actually, I'm very curious about the time because my watch says 3:55, but I started it a bit earlier because I didn't want to bother to start it at the, when you cross the line. So I started it sometime before that. But it was just hard, all 4 hours of it. A lot of it might be because of the weather, but I still think I've lost some fitness. So at first it was really humid and warm, and then the rain started, and the rain was really crazy at some points. I was completely wet, it was just pouring. But on the bright side, when it started raining, the temperature dropped to, I think, maybe 18 degrees, and that made me feel better, surprisingly, considerably. And yeah, I didn't even stop, well, apart from the fitting station, I didn't really stop. I ran all the way and I was really quite happy about it. And it's still going on. You can even hear the marathon. It has a cut-off time of 6 hours, which is a little bit, I would say, short. Yeah, what surprised me was that there were not so many people walking. Quite often if you do a marathon in Europe, there would be a lot of people walking. But I mean, maybe there were people walking after I finished. How am I supposed to join that road? According to Google, I'm supposed to somehow follow that road. But yeah, people were just running. I guess Japanese people are very serious about their running. Or maybe they just don't do marathons unless they are really trained for it. The annoying thing was when around kilometer, I think 25, they for some reason started counting distance in the steps of 200 meters. You know, usually when you run it's 26, 27, whatever, and here it was like 26.2, 26.4, and it's so discouraging because you run, and then you see that it's only 26.4 and you've been at 26.2. I don't know why they do it. That was wild. But yeah, I really enjoyed the experience. The food was interesting. It wasn't much of it, but it was so different to what you usually get in, well, I've only participated in European marathons. I really feel like an idiot because I've been going on about my ankle for the last 2 weeks, and now it feels like I've been lying to you, but I really wasn't. It was really quite bad 2 weeks ago, and then somehow I guess 2 weeks of rest and of taking painkillers kind of revived it, because today it was amazing. I had no pain. Like I will have to check tomorrow, because what happened 2 weeks ago, it started hurting on Monday after a weekend of hiking. So maybe it will go bad tomorrow, but I don't think so. It feels okay. I don't know what happened and how come it so perfectly got like healed today. But really I feel like an idiot. But yeah, it's kind of a shame that because of that I was not running for 2.5 weeks. But anyway, also I did say that I want to experience, that I want to run slowly. But then, you know, when I run a race, my competitiveness jumps in, and I just cannot make myself. I really was trying. At some point I was like, run slower, because at some point you will be in a lot of pain and you will stop enjoying it. But to be fair, I've been in pain almost the whole of it. Yeah, but now I really feel like an idiot complaining for 2 weeks about my ankle and how I shouldn't run. Should I run? Shouldn't I run? And today it's just gone, which is amazing. I'm a little bit stupidly, I know, sad that there is no medal, because I would love to have a medal of this kind of marathon and to hang it to the other ones. I'm not sure how I can incorporate that towel with the other medals, but on the other hand it's really unique. I should think about it from that point of view. Like, who else has a finisher marathon towel? That was something. My legs are in a lot of pain. I guess that's again due to me not doing much in the last 2.5 weeks, but at least I'm not limping. There were many people who were limping. I should be by the train station now, more or less. It's 40 minutes waiting for the regional train, and then 40 minutes on the train. And yeah, I'm not sure how much time I will have in Toyama.
Suddenly, the world I used to know, I see it differently. You woke me from a dream, now here's reality. Baby, baby, you are really hurting me. 'Cause every time never changes, and now I see, baby, you are hurting me.
And I got a bit of time in Toyama to celebrate my race with a coffee and a piece of cake.
Stop lying.
And then it was time to return to Nagano, where I will spend a couple more days.
But baby, it's breaking my heart. How could I know? If you don't need me, just let me know when I go. Truthfully, the game that you've been playing felt so real to me. I once believed that you could be my destiny.
So I returned to the hotel. I hanged all my clothes that were completely wet. And now it's about 6:30. I'm thinking as a bonus content, I will just walk around for a little bit because walking downstairs is a little bit problematic. And I can feel my legs now, but I mean it's just 6:30. I want to walk around a little bit. I'll show you maybe some evening and night Nagano, and anyway I will have to find myself something to eat. I think I still have not replenished all of the calories that I spent running, and then I will return to the hotel and I will probably try to make this video about running the marathon because I'm very excited about that actually. Yeah, see you outside. Wait, by the way, look at this. I have to put my jumper on. Usually I'm very cold resistant, but I think because I ran this marathon and I wasted all of my energy, now I'm really cold and it's like 16 degrees outside. For me it's not cold, it's my favorite temperature, but I had to put my jumper on because my energy just bottomed out and I still have not got it back, and even my feet are hurting a little bit. I have a lot of plans for walking tomorrow and I am not sure how that's gonna work, but we'll persevere. Anyway, see you outside.
First, back to the station. Actually, some of my favorite places in Japan are sweet shops that you could find at any major train station. I even enjoy just looking at them without buying.
Guys my age laugh at my jokes, treat me like one of the bros. Think I'm cool, but they would never date me.
I think I'm too tired to walk around, which is why I'm going back to the hotel, buying some food on the way, and maybe I'll work on the video a little bit. Anyway, I think the full series about my trip to Japan will not come soon because I have a lot of stuff before that. Like I need to finish my hiking series, then there will be one about South Africa, then there will be one about my multi-day skiing trip, and then maybe I will get to Japan. But I hope you at least enjoyed a little bit of it, and see you soon.
Well, if you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed running the marathon, then please give me a like.